Good day, students. Welcome to Home Economics class with Mrs. Carlo Chidinma. How are you? How are you doing? The assignment I gave out, I saw some. Why some did not really do anything? Just know that you're not getting your mark. And for those that did their own, a thumbs up for you guys. Okay, so before we go into what we have today, I want you to remind me what we talked about in our last class. Good. Chinecherem said we talked about what? Food nutrients. So, Emeka, tell us what is food nutrients. Good. Food nutrients are those chemical substances that are present in the food we eat. So, who can tell us the food nutrients we have? Oluchi, fat and oil, vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, water. Thank you very much. What about the protein? What did we say that is protein? Good. We said that proteins are what? Bodybuilding foods. Proteins are bodybuilding foods. And I also said that the smallest unit of protein is what? Amino acids. Thank you very much. And I said that we have two types of amino acids. Who can mention them? Good. Essential. Yes. Effine and non-essential amino acids. We went further to say that essential amino acids are what? Good. They are those acids that our body cannot make them. Our body cannot produce them. We get them from the food we eat. Okay? And give me some example of essential amino acids. Histidine. Good. Leucine. Isoleucine. Good. And phenylalanine. Good. What of non-essential amino acids? Who can tell us, Ngozi? Yes, non-essential amino acids, we say they are what? They are those ones that our body can make. They are those ones our body can produce them. Okay? We don't get it from the food we eat. Our body can actually produce these acids. I mention them for me. Aspartic acid, glutamic acid, and the rest of them. You're correct. We also looked at the two types of proteins we have. Yes, who can mention them? We have first class protein. Either you call it first class protein or what? Or animal protein or what? Or complete protein. Thank you very much. So those proteins are what? They are those ones that contain all the essential amino acids. Remember that I told you that essential amino acids, our body cannot make them. We get them from the food we eat. So, this animal protein or first class protein, they contain all the essential amino acids. And give me an example of animal protein. Good. We have milk, meat, fish. You're correct. And then the next one is what? Second class protein. Either you call it second class protein or what? Or plant protein or what? Talk now. Either you call it second class protein or what? Incomplete protein or plant protein. Good. Those ones are lacking in one of the essential amino acids. And give me an example. Beans is there. Good. Soya beans and the rest of them. Good. You're doing wonderful. So we went further to look at the functions of what? Proteins. Now they are what? They promote growth. They repair the worn out tissues. Another one, they spare protein. They spare carbohydrate. That means in the absence of carbohydrate, protein gives us what? Energy. So we went further to talk about carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Oh yeah? Olushi, you're not talking. What are carbohydrates? Good. We said that carbohydrates are what? Energy-giving foods. Carbohydrates are energy-giving food. I also told you that the smallest unit of carbohydrate is what? Monosaccharide. Again, monosaccharide. Okay, this is the smallest unit of carbohydrate. Someone should give me the food sources of carbohydrate. Good. Rice, cassava, yam, potato. That's very good. Clap for yourself. Okay, we also look at the functions of what? Carbohydrate. Give me one of the functions of carbohydrate. It gives us energy. Good. Remember that I told you that 1 gram of carbohydrate food gives us how many kilocalories? I can't hear you. I said that 1 gram of food, of carbohydrate food gives us what? 4 kilocalories. Yes, you're doing well. 4 kilocalories. And give me one of the functions of carbohydrate. Yes, Emeka? It gives us energy. We also went further to talk about what? Fat and oil. Good. We talk about fat and oil. We said that fat and oil are what? Wonderful. They are also energy-giving food. Fat and oil are also, can you imagine that 1 gram of fat and oil food gives us how many kilocalories? 9 kilocalories. So it gives us more energy than carbohydrate. Right. Then someone should tell me the function too. It also gives us energy. Tell me the food sources of fat and oil. Good. Margarine. Good. Soya bean oil. Your groundnut oil and the rest of them. Very good. You're doing well. We also talked about minerals and vitamins. Minerals and vitamins are called what? Protective food. They protect your body against what? Diseases. Good. Instead of vitamins, we have vitamin A, B, C, D, and K. That's very good. So we have different vitamins, and then these vitamins protect your body against what? Diseases. We also have the minerals too. Okay, give me an example of minerals. Phosphorus, calcium, sulfur, iron, good, and iodine, and the rest of them. So they also do what? They protect your body and also help you to do what? To build strong bones. Okay? Then the other one is what? Water. Remember I told you that water is not actually a nutrient, but it's very, very what? Important. Good. And they aid what? Digestion and what? Absorption. That's good. So we're going to be talking about the text for food nutrients. These food nutrients we have talked about, these our carbohydrate and our protein. How do we actually know that this thing is present in our food? Will you just come and say, yes, rice, there is carbohydrate. Test it. Carry out practical on it. How will you boast? How will you say, yes, this is actually contains this carbohydrate? That's what we're going to be looking at today. This rice we're eating, this potato we're eating, is there starch? Is there carbohydrate? Okay. That's what we're going to be looking at today. Are we together? Good. So we're going to be looking at the test for food nutrients. And the first one is what? Carbohydrate. Remember that I told you that carbohydrates are what? Energy-giving food. And there are 2 forms of carbohydrates. Alright? There are 2 forms of carbohydrates. We say they are what? Starch and sugar. Good. These are the 2 forms of carbohydrates. When you see these 2 things in your food, that means that food contains what? Carbohydrates. That's good. We see that the main carbohydrates found in our food are what? Are in the form of starch and what? Sugar. And we can easily find out if a food item contains what? Starch. So we're going to be testing for starch. Alright? So the first one is what? The iodine tests. We're going to find out whether our food item contains starch using iodine tests. Okay, the first one is what? Take small quantity of the food items to be tested. You take the small quantity of the food items to be tested. Put 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution. Okay? Then, observe the color of the food item. If blue-black color indicates the presence of starch in the tested food items. We're going to practicalize it now. Okay? You're going to see what I'm talking about. All this grammar, all this our English now. We're going to carry out the practical so that you're able to see it. Okay? Okay. This is our potato. I've already cut it so that it's easier for us. We say take small quantity of the food item to be tested. Okay, this is potato. We want to find out whether there is starch in this potato. And remember I told you that if there is starch, that means there is what? Carbohydrate. Okay, so we're taking small quantity. This is my small quantity. Now say put 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution. This is an iodine solution. Okay, so say put to 3. We're going to pour it inside this cup. Alright. Say put to 2 to 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make use of 3. We're taking it back. Okay. Say, observe the color of the food item. We are going to observe the color of this food item now. Let's rest for a while. Then, if blue-black, you know what is a blue-black? It's not actually blue, it's not actually black. Blue-black color indicates the presence of what? Starch. Are you seeing it? Are you observing the color? What can you see? Tell me. Is it just blue? I believe no. Is it black? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? Are you seeing it? What are you seeing? Blue-black solution. Okay? Have you seen it? Is it blue-black? Or is it just blue? Or is it just black? Have you seen it? That means there is presence of what? Starch in potato. So you can carry out this test in any of the food item you're suspecting to be a carbohydrate food. So that's for carbohydrate. Let's look at protein. Okay. So the next one is protein. Okay. The protein test. Remember that I told you that proteins are what? Fine. They are the bodybuilding foods. Good. Proteins are the bodybuilding foods. So how will you know that a particular food item contains protein? That's what we're looking at. Okay. Then the other one is that proteins are needed for the growth and repair of our body tissue. So how will you know that this food actually contains protein? We're going to look at the test called the foam test. Dissolve the protein. How will you carry out this foam test now? Dissolve the protein food in pure and clean water. Good. Shake vigorously. Alright? Observe the mixture. If there is a formation of a foam, okay? If formation of a foam indicates what? The presence of what? Protein. Let's carry out this test now. This is milk. Okay? We're just assuming that this milk contains protein. I'm not sure. And you yourself, you're not even sure. Are we together? So you just want to find out whether this milk actually contains protein. So we're going to carry out this foam test. Alright? So this is my milk. And inside this milk, I'm going to be adding clean water. I'm going to be adding clean water to it. I've added my water. And the other one said, shake vigorously. We're going to shake it. Not just do it like this. So do it very, very well. Shake it very, very well. Do it vigorously. Someone should come and help me. Come and help me now. You're running away now. Okay, no problem. Later, tell me to come and take the milk. Alright? What are you seeing? Are you observing anything? Is there any foam? Are you observing anything? I believe you've seen it. Okay? That means that there is what? Protein. That's how to carry out your what? Your foam test. Are we together? Are we together? Then the next one is what? The coagulation test. Coagulation test. How will you carry out this test? Let's say pour the solution of the suspected protein food in a test tube. Put it in a boiling water bath. If the food solidifies or coagulates, then it is protein. Give you an example, just at home. When you get your egg, remember that egg in its raw stage is liquid, right? But when you parboil it and bring it out, what happens? Good. It solidifies. It comes together. It coagulates. That is how to know whether a food product or your food item contains protein. That's known as what? The coagulation test. So I expect you're going to carry it out. Okay? I want you to perform this particular test. And then the next one is the what? The fat and oil. Alright. So the next one is the what? Test for fats. Okay? So that fat is a major source of what? Energy. And it aids your body in absorbing fat-soluble vitamins. Remember I told you that 1 gram of of fats, as in fat and oil, the food containing fat and oil gives us 9 kilocalories, alright? So that is a major source of what? Energy. So how will you find out that a particular food item contains this fat and oil? How will you find out it contains fat? This is what we're going to be talking about. Are we together? So the first one is what? Take a small quantity of what? Of food item to be tested. Are we together? Wrap the food item in a what? In a piece of paper. Wrap the food item in a piece of paper and crush it. Are we together? And do what? Crush it. You straighten the paper, okay? Wrap the food item in a piece of paper and crush it. Straighten the paper. You dry the paper by keeping it in the sunlight for a while. Are we together? Then you observe the paper. An oil patch on the paper indicates the presence of fats in the tested food item. We're not going to carry out this practical here. This is going to be your assignment. I want you to carry out the practical at home. Okay? Show me how you've done it. Show me how you did it. And snap it. And then observe whether that food item contains what? Contains fats. So these are the words, how to carry out your test for fats. We're going to be looking at the effect of heat on those food nutrients. The effect of heat on those food. This is what we've talked about. We've looked at the various food nutrients. We looked at the taste for what is the effect of heat on it. When heat is applied to this food nutrient, what will happen? That's what we're going to be looking at. What will actually happen? When it's being cooked, what will actually happen to this food nutrient? Okay. So we're going to be looking at how heat affects those food nutrients. Are we together? Then the first one is what? The protein. If someone walk up to you and asks you, this protein we're even talking about, does heat really affect it? Is it being affected by it? Yes, it does. Okay? Heat really affects this food nutrient. Heat affects protein. How? Take for instance, when heat is applied to protein, it coagulates. Okay? It coagulates. Just like I told you in the boiling of your egg. Are we together? After cooking the egg, after boiling the egg, what happens? It coagulates. It comes together. So that's one of the effects of heat on protein. Then the next one is what? It shrinks the protein. It shrinks the protein. Take for instance, your meat at home. When you buy it from the market, what happens? It's still okay. Yes. You'll be looking at it. This is big. Oh, this meat is big. The sizes are big. But immediately you cook it, what happens? It shrinks. It becomes smaller. Especially when you now fry it on top of it, it will even be smaller. You understand? So one of the effects of what heat on protein does what? Number one is that it coagulates, just like your egg. And then the second one is what? It shrinks what? The protein. It shrinks the protein. I'll give you an example. In terms of your meat. Then in terms of carbohydrates, heat also what? Affects carbohydrates. Okay? Now it can be a moist heat or it can be a dry heat. When you're talking about moist heat, water is involved. When you're talking about a dry heat, no water is what? Involved. Okay? So these two heats can do what? They affect the carbohydrates or any food item that have carbohydrates. And what is it? They are affected either by moist or dry heat. Okay, when you're talking about the moist heat, it gelatinizes the carbohydrates. It gelatinizes the carbohydrates. For instance, when making your pap. You know what is pap? Yoruba people call it togi. Abi? Igbo people call it what? Akamo. Yes. So, it gelatinizes the carbohydrate. After making it with hot water, what happens? It gelatinizes. It forms a gel. That's one of the effects of what? Carbohydrate, the heat on carbohydrates. Okay, it gelatinizes the carbohydrate. The next one is what? It softens the carbohydrate. So even, for instance, when you're preparing your yam, will you just get yam and start eating like that? No. But when you cook it, what happens? It softens it. Oh, very good. You're there. It softens it. So you'll be able to do what? Consume it. So that's one of the effects of what? Moist heat on what? On carbohydrates. Thank you very much. And the next one is the dry heat. Dry heat now, no water is involved. What is the effect of dry heat on carbohydrates? So that it caramelizes the carbohydrates. Caramelization. That means it turns it into brown. I don't know whether you've seen this brown color they normally use in cake production. Yes. This is one of the steps. You know what they did? They get sugar, then heated it with dry heat. No water is added. They heated it. It turns to brown. Okay? So that's one of the effects of dry heat on carbohydrates. And then the next one is what? Destrinization. It destrinizes the carbohydrates. Okay? That breaks it down into digestible units, just like your yam, your roasted yam. They're making use of dry heat there. No water is added. Are we together? So, they made use of dry heat. They are breaking it down. That is destrinization. You're breaking it down into digestible unit that you'll be able to consume it because you cannot actually eat it like that. Or can you? Amarasha, no, you cannot. Are we together? So, that's all for the effect of both protein and carbohydrate. We're also going to be looking at fat and oil. Does heat actually affect this fat? Does it actually affect these vitamins and minerals? We have for fat and oil, what is the effect of heat on fat and oil? So that fat, when heated, melts to oil. You know fats, just like your margarine or your butter. Your butter now. Okay, when you heat it, it melts to what? Oil. Okay, so further heating of the oil now to smoke point decomposes it to what? To fatty acid and what? Glycerol. So that further heating beyond the smoke point decomposes to what? The oil to agrolene, which is what? Poisonous. So these are the effects of what? Fat and oil. So that of vitamins. We say that most vitamins, especially the fat-soluble vitamins, are what? Are stable to heat. They are not affected by heat. They are stable to heat. However, the water-soluble vitamins, okay, especially the vitamin C, vitamin C, yes, they are easily destroyed by heat. That means that vitamins, some of them are stable to heat. They are not affected by heat. Okay, why the vitamin C can easily be destroyed by heat. Okay, then the mineral elements are what? They are stable to heat. They are not affected by heat. They are stable to heat. So, you have any question? Remember, I've given you assignment. Please make sure you do it. It's not for fun. You need to record it. Yeah? The ones that they have done their own, I'm giving you a thumbs up, okay? So, do you have any question? Any question? No question. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.